Hi, and welcome to Matt Holman Talks Mental Health, the podcast where I have the opportunity to sit down and chat with amazing humans about their journeys with mental health and everything else in between. So for this episode, this is the celebration of the first anniversary of the podcast. Incredible to believe that just 12 months ago, this podcast was born. And since then, there's been 111 episodes that have been put out there into the big wide world with incredible stories. So thank you so much to all those who have followed, who have liked, shared, listened, watched, and whatever it is that you've done with the podcast. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. So today, for the launch of year 2, I guess this is year 2, I thought it would be really great to get together two really important people in my life. Neither of them are my wife, but they both work with me, which is amazing. And they do an incredible job with what they're doing. So I'm so happy to introduce Laura Williams and Mandy Toon to the conversation today. Welcome to you both.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good afternoon, depending on where people are. But yeah, good morning where we are. So all I'm going to do very briefly, as I will always say, just a quick introduction. But of course, as I said in my piece there, we work together. So we do spend a lot of time talking about these conversations, mental health and everything around that. So it's great to have you on board. It's great to have you here for this recording. So Mandy, do you want to do a quick introduction? Let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. I'm Mandy Toon. I'm a mum of 4 gorgeous children. My youngest started school this year, which is when I started working with Matt. I've been looking after my children and not working for the last 12 years. So yeah, this is all new, but extremely exciting, and I'm loving every second.
Oh, brilliant. I'm glad to hear that. Of course, you're saying the right thing. So well done. Laura, over to you.
Hi, I'm Laura. I've worked for Matt for nearly 2 years. I started working for Matt just as the pandemic started. So we've had a challenging kind of first year, but it all worked out all right. I'm still here. And I'm a mum to 2 children and a wife to Liam.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, it's lovely to see you both, of course. And we were only talking a little while ago, and we talk every day. So it's nice to just sit down and take some time out of our schedules to just breathe and to talk a little bit about what we're doing. So I'm going to ask you questions. So normally we talk about the journey of mental health, but I think what I'd like to reframe this as today is your journey over the last 12 months, because this is a 1-year anniversary. So 1 year since the podcast was launched. I'm just going to ask you, how has your year been? What's been going on? Anything you want to share? So Mandy, I'm going to throw that over to you, if that's okay to start with.
Yeah, well, I've kind of been rolling on a bit of a roller coaster. Obviously, as you know, my eldest son struggles with his anxiety, so we had a little bit of difficulty at the beginning of the year. But at this part now, he seems to be in a really good place, so that's amazing. Also said that my youngest daughter started school. She had her own struggles with her speech throughout the year, so I was focusing a lot on that. But she started school now, and we're I've been doing lots of running, as you know, not so much put myself on events this year. It's been quite nice just being able to meet up with friends and have no pressure. So yeah, it's been quite an exciting, fun year.
Excellent. Go on, sorry.
Sorry, go on. No, carry on.
No, it's good to hear. I'm glad that you've had some good fun things that you've been doing, and we've done a few runs together as well, which has been brilliant, especially where you live in the countryside with nice sort of 10-mile routes, not the 20-mile route, but the 10 miles are definitely a scenic thing. So it is great to hear you've had a good year, and I'm sure there's some other elements as well that we might be able to talk about in that past 12 months. Laura, how about you? How's your year been? You've spent the whole year with me in the company, so how things have been?
Well, since you had the great idea of launching this podcast, I think it was one Monday morning, you said, I'm going to do a podcast. By Tuesday, you'd done all the branding, logos and everything, and we're ready to roll. So a lot has happened to me. I moved house that week. So we during the first lockdown, we reevaluated what we wanted with our lives, me and my husband and the children. So we moved out of the town centre to the suburbs of Basingstoke, I'd say, near the country. We both are runners, so we wanted to be near where we can go and just run freely. And that's what was one of the biggest factors for us. We love walking and being outside. So that's the first kind of change. The second change is I ran a marathon. I don't know if you knew that, but it was meant to be in 2020. It didn't happen, so it was rolled over. So I've been training a lot, been running a lot. So the whole of my year has been fundraising and running. So it was nice to finally tick that off my list, a big challenge I wanted to do personally. Also been working a lot and trying to, keep the name Simpler going around and getting everyone to know what we do and talk about mental health to everybody and anyone that will listen, and growing our brand. I think that's it.
There's been a hell of a lot of stuff that we've been doing. You've been my rock on side of that, for the last year, definitely, and well, beyond the year even. You said it's nearly 2 years. I can't believe it's nearly 2 years.
It'll be 2 years in December, won't it, that I accepted?
Incredible, and it just has been a journey, and I'm sure everybody out there that's been through the last 2 years, it's what a ride. And I think, Mandy, you said it roller coaster, the roller coaster of changes, challenges, emotions, the things that we've been through. And just so everybody knows, Mandy joined in September with Simpler, and very much focusing on sort of our future plans and pathways, which includes a lot more around young people and children and everything else. So it's great to have sort of another set of eyes who are helping to develop everything that we're trying to do. So talking about that gives us reason for what we do sometimes. Our children drive us. We've all talked about our children in different areas. Your passions for this subject, where is that? Why is that? And how does it look? So Mandy, I'm going to ask you the question first.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as I mentioned already, we've had our struggles with our oldest son, who's sort of suffered with anxiety and panic attacks, and also self-harm, and that was a massive struggle for me. It still is, but obviously at the beginning I knew nothing about it, didn't know how to help him. And so I started doing different courses to try and understand, see what I could do to help him. And then obviously you and I spoke, and I did your course. All of that's helped me massively. And now I feel that I'm in a position where I want to help other parents and other children and just raise that awareness, because I felt like I was on my own at the time, and that no one else knew what I was going through. But actually, as soon as I started opening up, I really realised that wasn't the case, and there was a lot more people in a similar situation. So yeah, it's all about raising awareness, which is why I'm loving what I'm doing, and I'm glad to be on board with you.
Oh, brilliant. And you're doing a lot of training as well, aren't you, in terms of what participating in training at the moment? And long-term ambitions, Mandy, what would you like to be doing? It's like,
I know. Well, you know that I would love to be able to deliver the training myself. Yeah. And just and get it out there to other parents and help as many people as we can.
Brilliant. I love the motivations and the passions behind it, and you definitely have your reasons. So brilliant stuff. So welcome. We're very happy to have you within Simpler, within the family. Laura, what about your motivations for mental health?
So I've always been passionate about helping others. I don't like to see anybody struggling. I haven't had any direct impact of mental health personally. People around me have, and I always feel like I can be someone that people can go to. I trained as a counsellor a few years ago, and I think I'm good at listening. I'm good at talking as well, but I am good at listening. And I just supported a few friends through hard times, and that's my passion, really. I don't like seeing anyone struggle, and I want to help as many as possible. As I said before, I came from a charity before, helping others in a different way, but still kind of helping people. And the job I did, I was talking to a lot of lonely people as well. So I just wanted to reach as many people as possible.
So you joined Simpler, and we
yes.
lots of people, right, in a different way.
Yeah.
It's great. And I think that's, for me as well, the reason for doing what I do, as I share frequently, is to help people. It's to see people when they're struggling and just say, look, it's okay, we can talk, we can give a safe space. And well, for anybody that's listening, Laura has been a very close confidant to me over the last 12 months, and Mandy as well, because we've known each other well beyond the 3 months that we've worked together. But actually having that support around us, even at work, or as friends, and we're colleagues, and we're humans first. Actually, let's break it down. It's simple stuff. Is we're humans before anything else. And what I've loved about that journey from my perspective for the last 12 months with in both relationships with both of you is is having that ability just to be honest about what's going on, just to talk about it, and just to say, you know what, I'm having a crap day, or things aren't going so well at home, or there are these challenges or these struggles that we're going through. And you both know everything about what's going on in our world of, you know, mental health and mental illness with our daughter. So that's been great for me. You know, it's the therapy sometimes that you can do for yourself by just having that safe space, isn't it? Mandy, do you want to say something?
No, I was going to say, I think that's one of the things I love the most about working with you guys, is that we are so open and honest, and we can be about everything, because, you know, this is what we do. Obviously, we're trying to encourage people to talk, so it's something that we do practice between ourselves, which I love.
Yeah.
So I have a little therapy session every morning before I start work. It's great.
Not a text message normally. Yeah, it's texting therapy of, yeah, good morning everyone, good morning. Yeah, planning, really, you know, we're in a planning mode at the moment. We've got lots of great ideas. We've been going through sort of, yeah, gosh, it feels like a bit of a whirlwind the last few weeks. I don't know how you both feel about that, but lots of things we want to do, and of course we got to make them happen. But this is sort of a very mystical sort of conversation, not sharing too much on this, of course. But you know, how do you feel about the future? How do you feel about what's happening at the moment? Laura, I'm going to come to you first. I'm going to go to Laura.
I'm really excited. I say it's been a kind of a funny 2 years, because I started the job when it was kind of thrown straight into lockdown, so we couldn't do the plans we had discussed before I started. So now it's kind of picking up from, you know, as hopefully the world's going back to normal now, and we can kind of focus on growing and doing all these exciting things we've got in the pipeline. So I'm just really, really excited to throw myself into new challenges and doing new things. Yeah.
Amazing. Good. Well, there'll be plenty of more challenges ahead, I'm sure. No doubt, more mountains to climb. Andy, what about you?
Same as that. Massively excited. This year, as I said to you, I didn't set myself any huge challenges, so I'm definitely biting at the bit, and we're obviously talking about setting ourselves some new challenges. I've already set myself a few, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited for what we're going to be doing as a company, but also the personal challenges I'm going to be facing myself. So.
Brilliant. No, it's good. And for the benefit of anybody that's listening or watching this and wondering what the hell are they talking about, we're next year we're setting ourselves some challenges, some pretty lofty challenges as well at times. So we don't want to just go for the simple stuff of, you know, not drinking for a day, or, you know, those sort of elements. And we want to go beyond that. We want to try and create more challenges for ourselves. Be brave, be open, be honest, be genuine, encouraging ourselves to do things that push us a little bit beyond what we would normally do, and that's going to be quite an interesting concept. So just to launch, and I do want to just say it out loud really, which is something that I'm very happy to say, but next year our plans are all evolving around how to be the most amazing human. Okay, so anybody that listens to this regularly will hear me call everybody amazing humans, and anybody that follows me on social media hears me use that term as well. But the reality is we need to focus on ourselves in our mental health and our well-being, and that's a massive part of how we progress through our lives, and the journeys that we're on in our lives is by understanding how the things we do, or making conscious choices on the things we do that mean that we look after ourselves better. And that thing about becoming the best amazing human that we can be could be all different elements, and that's what we're sort of focusing on. So the launch of that plan is around, you know, how can we help as a business, as a charitable cause supporter, or as volunteering, or whatever it might be, to improve ourselves. That's ultimately what it is. And I think the revelation for everybody is more around suddenly realizing that it's important to take care of yourself, you know, and I'm not saying it's a revelation, but you know what I mean. And understanding that to help others, I need to really look after me, which is why we have a support structure here, which is just to enable conversations. What do you think about talking about that plan?
Yeah, well, absolutely, Matt. I'm with you. I think you talk about looking after yourself a lot, and it is massively important. But it is something that I myself have struggled with, and other people, because I think you feel guilty, especially as a parent. You feel guilty about doing things. So it's realizing that actually, as you say, you can only help your children. You can only help others if you're in a good place yourself. So if I'm burning myself, you know, out, then I'm no good to my children anyway. So yeah.
And there's a lot to be done to support them. I know your Tuesday evening is a routine, right, in itself. It's a routine. It's a help the children. Oh, taxi, Mandy cabs.
That's through Tuesday evenings, yeah. It's surviving.
I know. What about you, Laura? How do you feel about the plans? Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I just I don't know what to say. After doing a big challenge this year, I'm kind of thankful that I've got a few kind of downtime months, but I'm looking forward to throwing myself in completely. I'm due to start studying again in January as well, so I've got a lot of kind of looking after me as well. I just think since training for the marathon and kind of completing it, I feel like I can kind of do anything. I feel a bit invincible, and that sounds stupid because
no,
I know I don't want to sound too big-headed, but something you dedicate yourself to and train for and complete it. Like usually before I started running, I just would never complete anything. I would kind of set a challenge, and then after a few days I'd forget about it. I'd join the gym, I'd go 3 times and then pay for a year. But since starting running, and the focus was never to run a marathon, but it really was in my head. It's like I'd love to do that. I started running because my husband ran a marathon, so it was like, wow, that's amazing. I could never do that, but then I did do it, and now I've done it. I think, well, if I could do that, what else can I do? So
brilliant. I love that. I really do. So you're incredible. You're invincible. You can.
Well, I don't mean too big challenges.
To put on us by others, not on ourselves. We are. We can do many things that we don't realize we can do, which is why the plans for next year, and I get excited because we're thinking, we're going to do stuff we've never done. We're going to try things that we've never experienced, and actually, why not? We should try some of that as well. And so I want to ask you a direct question there then, Laura, about the marathon, because I know that journey and I ran some of that journey with you, and especially in the year that you did the virtual marathon, the half marathon in the windiest place with the most rain and wind. Oh my gosh, it was horrendous, right? And you still managed to do a virtual marathon. How did you get to do a marathon though? What was the real reason you managed to get through the whole training, the process of getting there, running it and finishing it?
I think it's just the end result, really. It was just to say, I'd done it. I'd done this myself. I stuck to a plan. I did what I wanted to do. I didn't need anybody else to convince me. I had some friends along the way who I made promise would run with me every week, so I would go out, but to be fair, I would have gone out anyway. It was just to make them accountable for me, really, and to get them out. But I think it was literally planning it and doing it.
Brilliant. And it was, and I saw the plans. For anybody that is wondering what that means, I saw the plans, and actually Laura made me a plan as well, and I'm rubbish at following the plan.
That's me in my normal life though. I plan for everything. I'm a list writer. I write everything down. I like to have a focus and a follow through, and a beginning and an end. So, and the end result has always got to be something that's finished. So yeah,
I love that.
I think I was winging mine most of the time. I think I was winging mine most of the time.
So here's a revelation for everybody. Mandy's running Paris Marathon next year. So what's your plan, Mandy?
Just get there and get round. No, I've been signed up to Paris twice, and this is going to be the 3rd time. The first time I had to pull out, which for personal reasons, which I was absolutely gutted about. It was a couple of weeks before, so as you know, I'd already done all my training, and then the second time, I literally was a few weeks away from running it again, and then COVID hit and everything stopped. So I was like, I'm really not supposed to run this. So I lost the heart for it a bit and pulled out this year. But I'm determined now. I'm desperate, and I'm also giving myself the added pressure of trying to get myself a PB. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, because now I've got to do it.
You've got Mandy, you've got to make it happen. But maybe you could get Laura to create a plan for you. And
that's my one.
On our morning group text, we can encourage you. Mandy, have you been for that run today?
Once I set my mind to something, I do. I'm only joking. I do. I mean, obviously, I wanted a PB last year, and I got it. I was really proud of myself. So yeah, once I set my mind to something, that's it. That's me. I'm in. So
wow, there we go. So we're all accountable for our plan. I don't, you know what? I sort of, as you were talking about the marathon, we were talking about the marathon, and obviously, Laura, your journey with London to this year. I'm sort of thinking for next year, what's my target? What do I want to do? And you know, I don't really have a running target for next year. I don't.
Paris Marathon.
No. Paris. I genuinely love Paris, and it's just I don't want to. I don't want to do Paris. You know what? I only ever wanted to do one marathon. That was London. I did it in 2019, and actually, this is bizarre, but Mandy and I ran it together, and we finished together pretty much within 2 minutes. I think it was, wasn't it?
You were a bit ahead of me.
Only 2 minutes. And then. Yeah, and then the second marathon I ran was London Marathon again. So I think there's only, if I ever do a third, I have to say there's only one that I could probably do, isn't there? I'd have to do the hat trick of London's, but I don't know. So yeah, we'll see. But you know, ambitions for next year, I think for me really look like, you know, evolving what we do, helping more people, you know, and there's always that big ambition, isn't it? Every time we talk to one person, we can talk to another person through that person, and we can share and grow and evolve our plans, you know. And to me, growth isn't about growing the number of people we have working in our business. Growth is about growing the awareness. You know, growth is about together. You know, it was interesting yesterday. I was doing it won't necessarily make sense for this podcast going out on the anniversary, but on Tuesday, the 16th of Wednesday, Tuesday 16th of Wednesday, is that even a month? Tuesday the 16th of November, I was at the This Can Happen conference talking about parenting through mental ill health. And you know, we've all had our own experiences, we've all got our own experiences of parenting. I'm not saying mental health or mental ill health for all of us, but the reality was there's sort of, you know, focusing on how to help people, and it's about growing our understanding, awareness, our education around the knowledge that we need to support people. And it's interesting because when we were talking as parents and from a workplace and corporate perspective, actually the theme for children's mental health next year is growing together. And I think that's it, isn't it? And I think if we have to put a thought around what does being the best amazing human look like, well, actually it's about growing and growing together with others through that journey is really useful, which is sort of where I was steering to a little bit, Laura, with your marathon training, because you had a lot of support around you as well, didn't you? You know, and we used to run at lunchtime or during the day, and I'm not saying I was the only support, because not at all. You had a big support group of people. And I always remember when you did your virtual marathon, how many people were there, you know, supporting you to get to the finish line. And I was a windshield for a little bit, but I can't take any credit for it. You did the whole thing. So it was, yeah, you know, and I think that's it, isn't it? Do you feel all right about that thought, growing together?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's lovely. What do you think, Mandy? You're just smiling.
Yeah, I think we're very lucky with the people. I mean, Laura had a huge support, but I think we all do. Our running club in general are great at supporting us through all of our crazy ideas. So let's hope they're up for the rest of our crazy ideas that we're having planned for next year. We need more support.
You know what? I meant the growing together as a community rather than just as a running club, or as runners. But
yeah.
It's life, isn't it? It's a life thing, and I think that's, for me, that's a big focus for the next 12 months, is that how can we grow together? How can we improve the things we do, support more people, grow the conversations? Everything leads to one path, which is, you know, a human being of, you know, whether they're doing well, they're thriving, they're successful, or whether they're struggling and they're finding life challenging. How can we improve all of that? Laura, what do you think about the growing together thought?
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I'm always up for helping other people, and helping people be the best person they can be, as well as being the best person I can be. So being an amazing human to everybody.
You're both already on my amazing humans list. You know, it's a growing list. There's not everybody's on it. Some people aren't amazing humans yet. You know, they need to find their pathway to amazing human status. I think we have to create this status level of, you know, normal human, Joe average. Sorry, not just Joes, but you know what I mean. Average people, you know, and amazing humans, superstars. That's what we're ultimately achieving for, isn't it? Or reaching for. So we're coming towards the end of this conversation. Can you believe it? We've almost finished half an hour. We've been 25 minutes. So I'm going to throw it back to you shortly to ask you just some thoughts for your lives in the next, few months, maybe, as you progress through into 2022 and things are changing. And, I don't mean that in a bad way, things are changing, but I mean, because of the changes to the restrictions and the whole COVID thing, sort of, we're not beyond it by any means, in the sense of we're safe, of course. But what do you want to do personally? What's your thought? I know obviously Paris is going to be a thought for you, Mandy, but what else really drives you? What do you want to do? Who wants to go first?
Well, obviously I'm still trying to grow my role and prove myself. So that, this is, I'm absolutely loving the fact that you've given me the opportunity here, having, as you know, not worked for 12 years. So this is big for me, growing with you guys in your company, and doing all these challenges that we're setting ourselves. And also, growing as a person, as a mum, and learning. I've been learning so much already with you, and I have been putting that in place in my personal life as well as work life. So, yeah.
Brilliant. And it's our company, not my company. It's we're all in it together. And as I always say, if we don't get any money coming in, none of us get money. That's the reality. So we get money coming in. That's the ultimate thing. But no, it's a family. It's we're friends. That's the most important thing as well. We're very good friends. Laura, what about you? Plans, thoughts?
Well, just throw myself back into work as well, and trying to, do the best I can do. It's I'm going back to study in January, so that's scary and exciting at the same time. I want to learn more. I'm always interested in learning, especially about areas of mental health as well, and kind of anything I can pick up on. I'm always watching, listening to podcasts, watching shows. I want to be able to put as much information out there for anyone else who may be struggling or suffering in silence, or just supporting somebody. So I want to give as much information to anybody else that sees our stuff on socials and on my personal page as well. I have a running blog as well, so I kind of push little things on there, but not too much.
What's the blog called, Laura?
It's Laura's Running Journey on Instagram, yeah. So I've been kind of steadily growing that since I started running. I started that literally as I started running, so it's literally my journey from running a mile to running a marathon. So it's there's a lot of posts on there. I've got some time and some patience, and also I still run. So I didn't run the marathon and stop. I still run regularly 4 to 5 times a week. There will be other challenges I want to set myself. I don't say them out loud because I don't have the pressure. Yep. But there is things next year that I have already signed up for that I want to do well in. This year is kind of I felt like I was marathon training for a very long time, and I just need to kind of kick out the marathon pace and do a bit better with myself. But I think it's good to set yourself healthy targets, and even if you don't say them out loud, and just so you can beat them yourself. So
we'll ask you about those targets later to find out what they are.
My annual review. Well, must beat that target.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yes, we do have official systems in place for all of these things, of course. Brilliant. Well, you know what, I'm here to support all of those thoughts as well, and to support each other, and that's the key to all of this. Growing together, working together, enabling these conversations in a greater, more open way, I guess, is what this is all about. So thank you for sharing your thoughts, your insights. I know you're both a little bit nervous about doing this as well, and it's it's a different world to what you're used to, is being recorded and everything else that goes with it. But this is the 1-year anniversary of the podcast, of course, which means I like these special anniversary or these special editions. This is episode 112. The ambitions for the podcast next year, just sort of so people know when they're listening, you know what, I just want to keep it going. I just want to do more. I've got a whole load of people that want to record with me, which is fantastic. I'm so looking forward to it. There's some amazing stories that are coming as well. And everybody's got a unique perspective. And that's what I love about the podcast. That's what I love about these conversations is I just like to hear the way that you see the world and you perceive the world. So if anybody listening would like to record a podcast with me, feel free, get in touch. Always looking for new people to join the conversations. There are, of course, many other resources out there that we have already recorded. So please do go back if you need to get some support or you need to find a way through some challenges that you might be experiencing, please do. If you work within corporates, of course, it would be remiss of me not to mention that we do still work with corporates. We are planning to do a lot more on the young people's mental health, parenting, supporting young people who might have some mental health challenges. And you know, the statistics, the reality of the world that we're in today show that there are many challenges ahead, unfortunately, for young people. We need to make sure we're on top of that. We need to protect our young people and support them much sooner than we do, unfortunately, through some of the services and the challenges that we experience there. So stay connected, stay with us. You know, the conversation continues, the journey continues, we grow together. I love that. I'm gonna steal that as well. We grow together through everything we do. So just want to say a huge thank you to you both, Mandy, Laura. Pleasure as always. You know, we'll be on another call in about 20 minutes, so it'll be back to normal business, but it's lovely just to take a break and just to have this conversation with you both. So thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Take care. See you later.